Well, hey everyone. I ran the 2 minutes, but I forgot to click the go live. So you guys missed all of that. Missed it all. So now I guess everybody's going to get notifications and see what's going on and all that fancy schmancy. Just had an epic long call with Spanky over there. And let me go ahead and skip that and see if anybody's going to even join this late. Hey, I figured Todd would come on. He's on the West Coast. He might even be able to click in. He might be done cooking and everything tonight. So come on in. Click the link. Let's chat about whatever y'all want to chat about, obviously. Let's see. We got 3 likes. Thank you. You know, it's amazing. Hey, 3 Boys Bees, good to see you. I did that little live about being outside selling honey and get a thumbs down. I get thumbs down for doing a live about selling honey and 2 thumbs down about still out here selling honey. The second one, the little short one at the end. And just surprises me that someone will waste their time to go to a beekeeping video about selling honey and give it a thumbs down. So I guess that is what it is, but man, tell you what, it's no fun. No bueno when people do that. Just kills the algorithm. I've been up to 2,490 subs twice, and then I refresh it and it goes back down 3 or gain some, so I don't know what's going on. So today was a decent day honey sales wise. I did implement the new pricing, so I made $83. $83 is what I made today, and so that was today's rewards for sitting around doing nothing. $83. So that's not terrible. It's not great, but you know, it's not. I'm not at a market or anything like that, and I was just chilling. So we were just. Hey, I can see again. That's good. Hey, Stuffy. So I wanted to say thank you to Mike Trevis. I'm not going to dox him by giving his information out, but I think you can see on there Mike Trevis. The other day, he ordered the wrong product on the website, and I went ahead and shipped him the right product, and he sent me the difference in price, a little bit more actually, and then he sent me a birthday card. So much appreciated. Thank you. Appreciate it. And it just says, hope you had a great birthday. Sorry for the inconvenience on my order. So really appreciate the thought and the business and the birthday card, and you taking care of that. I appreciate it. So we'll stuff that in the honey money jar over here with the rest of it. Took off 6 supers. Awesome. I counted them today. I got about 50 supers out there still that haven't been pulled. So a lot of them have nectar in them that is not capped. So kind of waiting on that. So you know, this is more the Saturday night live, the late night like this. First of all, Cayman was live when I wanted to go live at first, and so I wasn't good. It's a losing battle there, right? So so I went ahead and did that. Hey, I got roadside assistance with my car. So good. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you. And so I learned something a little bit late today, and it was upsetting to me. And I'm going to tell you why it was upsetting to me. Is that I'll share it with you guys. Let me present it. And I swear to you, I did not see it. I did not see it. Let me share my entire screen over here. So check this out. This right here, I'll make it big. Hold on. Make it big for you guys. This right here is my same uncapper, but you could buy the head only to go on your bottling tank. Uncapping tank. Why do I keep saying that like that? And it would have been $800 cheaper doing it that way. Actually, I don't know what the shipping difference would be, but overall price would have been different, about $800. And I swear to you, they did not have this when I looked the other day. So you can buy just this piece to go on your uncapping tank for $2,700. So definitely look closely. Definitely look closely. Hey, James, Blaine, Dennis, Danette, good to see you. And so, yeah, I could have saved some money and not had an extra tank. But it is what it is. Now, I'm not going to cry over the spilt milk, so to speak. But the good thing is, hold on. Give me 1 second. In or out, cat. That's what you got to do. Get out of here. Sorry, my cat decided it was going to go sit with its nose at the door, like, let me out. So I had to let it out of the office room. So, yeah. So, could have saved a little bit of money there, but it is what it is. And we've been looking. Lyson does make a motor attachment for manual hand crank extractors. It's $220. It's the motor that mounts on the top and rheostat, I guess, or whatever you call it, the thing that turns the speed up and down for $220. So we actually thought about taking the handle off and seeing if that would mount on the side of this thing to turn it. Let me see. Mad Mort, where is he at? I didn't see his comment in there. Oh, there he is. Missed it. But yeah, so I was just sitting here, just got off the phone with Spanky, got a drink, decided, you know what? Let's ring in Father's Day to all you fathers, beekeepers, and mothers, since, it's probably the least celebrated holiday in America. Oh, phone 2%. It's about to die here. All right, we got a special guest. Charlie's probably hugging his pillow right now. So we went all the way to the west coast of the United States for Todd at Loma Vista. Oh, did he freeze up? No, there he is. He is kind of freezing up a little bit. What's going on, Todd?
I don't know. My internet's kind of sketchy tonight, I guess. Is it coming in good now?
It's yeah, you can see you pretty good. Everything's going good. So how was your day?
Long, actually.
I didn't do too much today. It was hot.
Heating up over here. It was. I think I'm cutting out. Let me check something here.
It was 91 degrees here today.
Yeah, it was long. It was long today.
And
yeah. But again, it was only like probably 15% humidity.
So I got a spicy hive update today. First of all, the swarm colony that I put in their place got killed. It just got robbed. It just got robbed out. And I think they went to the big colony that was right next to it.
It's slaughtered.
Yeah, I think they actually just merged with the colony that was next to it. which is fine because that was a big gentle colony. So when those bees die off, it's okay, right? So it was a swarm, sacrificial swarm, so to speak. And but I looked at the brood in that colony, and when I mean slabs, I mean slabs. I mean corner to corner brood pattern. And it's like, man, she's doing a great job in there, but her bees are just hideodorous. You know what I mean? It's like that might be a colony that I just move like way off, and I only open it up to throw a box of honey on it, you know, or a box of foundation on it. Just let it go. But yeah, it's doing it's getting ready to really pop, explode. And so
yeah,
I know killing the queen is what everybody says, but if she would have been,
yeah,
and first of all, let me state, I never saw the queen in there. But if she would have been like a sorry queen, it would have been no problem. Then grab one out of one of my nukes and put her in there, right? That would have been the deal. But when you open it up and literally you hold up the frame and the whole frame is cap brood, I'm like, oh, maybe I can take a little heat from one colony, you know? But
oof.
And then Spanky and
You're
I
gonna
were
have 6 weeks of hell.
We're talking about bee venom. Have you seen anybody harvest bee venom?
No.
They make these attachments, and they're not necessarily cheap, and you don't get a bunch at a time. But bee venom sells anywhere from $30 to $300 a gram.
Oh, jeez.
And you set this thing in front of the hive, and it hooks with an RCA adapter, and it basically puts vibrations out. And then the guy said that 1 in 10,000 bees hate it. And once it starts stinging, the pheromone, releases the pheromone. And what it does is, because it's a glass sheet on top of it, they sting the glass and give a little drop of bee venom. And then it dries off, and you take a razor blade and scratch it like a cocaine line, and then put it in a jar. So it's like, okay, if you had the market, people sell it on Etsy. A guy's selling a 2-gram vial for $175 on Etsy.
Wow.
And I guess people use it in cosmetics because it's almost like Botox, to where it irritates the skin enough to where it puffs just a little bit. So it takes the wrinkles out of ladies' skin. And so they like it. So.
Wow. Well,
hey, James. He said, Bob. So I was trying to see what he was trying to tell me. But yeah, so that was, the funny thing was with this live stream, I sat here. I was like, man, why isn't anybody joining? And the countdown's going, and I'm looking. I'm like, well, maybe it's just my thing. I keep refreshing my YouTube, and it turns out I didn't hit live. Go live. So I watched the countdown. It was great for me. 2 minutes of I'll never get back.
It is late over there.
And they put it in. That's right, Danette. They put it in like if they make lip balms, they put it in there as a lip plumper for the ladies, where it pulls their lips up a little bit. And I saw one of those vials. One lip balm, $20, because it had bee venom in it.
Jeez. Hey, that reminds me. Have you seen those? I think it's in Europe. I don't know what part of Europe, but there's beekeepers over there that have like these enclosed trailers with the hives, or I guess on the outside of the trailer, and they have these tubes coming into the trailer where people breathe the air of the hive.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen it.
supposedly healing. So,
Well, I think, isn't it, Dr. Leo has got like bees under his bed or something.
oh jeez.
You know, it works, but burns like hell, Danette says.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
No, it don't kill the
Mortified.
bees. The only way the bees die is when their stinger gets stuck in your skin and they can't get it out. So when they pull, then it separates out of there and it kills them. That kills them, but not the actual sting. Thanks, Sharon. And so it's just a piece of glass. So it might even be plexiglass. I don't know. It's a piece of glass on a thing you set in front of the hive. Castle Grounds Apiary has one that I saw a video that he did. But literally, it just has like vibrations. It's almost like guitar strings under there that vibrate. And the bees hate it because it's like right in their entryway, right?
Yeah.
And it, I mean, but at $30 to $300 a gram, I mean, that guy was selling it for $83.75 a gram.
That's a pretty good return on doing nothing, basically.
Yeah, take it. I mean, they set them in front of the hives, turn them on for several minutes, and a bunch of bees sting it, and then they just remove it and let it dry, and then they just scrape it. They're spanky. We just had an epic 3-hour phone conversation about this.
I didn't know you was going live. You didn't say nothing.
Well, I didn't know I was going live either till I got in here. I'm like, it's only 11:40. We can go live. Or 11:30.
Be late for work on the weekend.
No work on Sunday, and it's Father's Day, so I deserve that day, I guess. But
yeah, I went and put the butt in the smoker.
In the smoker? How long are you gonna leave it in there?
All night.
When you get up in the morning, you'll wrap it up and everything?
I'll go and look at it in the morning, yeah.
That's probably going to be some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's the best way to do it.
And so, yeah, we were looking at a way to engineer the manual uncapper. So Lyson makes a motor that you can take the handle off of an extractor, right? A manual extractor, and it mounts, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a Lyson manual extractor. They've got one that can go for any extractor. So, but we were like, well, what if we took the handle off and mounted that motor on there? If it's a DC motor, if it's going the wrong way, all you got to do is reverse the polarity, right? Yeah. Switch the positive and negative around, and now it'll spin the other way. And it's got a rheostat that turns it up and down the speed.
Mm-hmm. I got it pulled up.
So, you already got it up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. $220.
So you could probably part one out cheaper, but then it's on you to put it together and set it up where the wiring and everything ain't going to shock you.
It'd be my lucky.
That you're probably paying more, but all that's already done. You just got to figure out how to mount it.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is how to mount it, because the when you take the handle off, it's just got a it's not a cotter pin that goes through the handle. It's like a tube that's hidden there, and it's like a bushing almost that you hit, and it's just collapses down to the size of the hole to hold it in. That's what holds the handle on. And what I'm afraid is, if I take the handle off and that don't work, then I can't get the damn handle back on, and I'm out of uncapper. So, but hey, I can buy a replacement head for $26.95, evidently. So,
if you saw that, would you have gone that route first?
Probably, because I already have the same size table.
Yeah.
So, I mean, But I do like the new table because it has the casters on it and I can move it around. So that makes it worth it. But I probably would have just bought the head and mounted it on my table because it's the same size table.
Yeah.
So, but you know, live and learn. There's $800 I'll never get back right there. Oh, $800 plus probably a few $100 of the shipping, right? Because the size would have been much smaller. It's called a roll pin. There you go. James is driving. He's bee delivering 40 colonies. About robot language with sensors for hives and a CNC big enough to print a house.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, Michael, that works good. Perfect. Use a knife, but I'm not cutting 600 frames with a knife. It's not happening. Not for me. 500 frames, not for me. I'm not cutting it with a knife. But if it works for you, that's what matters. That's the main thing.
Well, my glossy privet isn't doing anything.
It's not blooming?
It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for a week. The buds are out. They're ready to go. They won't bust open. A couple of them will up at the very top of the tree, but everywhere else, they're just sitting there.
That happened with my mimosa. At the very top, they started blooming, and then within a week or so, the bottom popped open.
Yeah.
But you'll get it. It'll happen.
It better happen.
Well, I've got 50 supers on the hive right now. So I've got 500 in medium frames. And I've got some in deep frames too. So yeah, I'm going to say I probably got around 600, 550, 600.
That's that scale difference I talked about with you earlier.
What's that?
Where that's that scale difference I talked to you earlier about how, well, you're almost at the sideline or where I'm at the hobby level. So what we can do is different.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it's not that any way is better than the other. It's what's better for your situation, right? I work. I don't have all day to sit there and extract honey.
You have a lot more honey to extract. You've got a bigger scale to fill.
So, and James has a bigger one than me, right? And Todd's got a bigger one than me. So it's like, it's about what works. Well, how many colonies do you have now, Todd?
I counted today with the 5 that Mark sent me. I've got 77.
So 77 colonies. And I really haven't asked you, what is your uncapping setup like?
Well, don't make fun of me, but it's just the old knife and bucket method. Then throw it in the extractor and let it go.
How long does it take you to extract all your honey?
Couple 3 nights.
If you have it all off at one time and it takes you 3 nights to uncap and extract.
No, I do it in levels. Just, I grab a bunch of boxes one night, strip it out, spin it, take the empties back, put them on a stack to let them, clean it up. And then I grab another whatever amount of hives, and I do that until I'm done.
And I do a lot of that as well. But I don't know. I mean, could I get away with a smaller setup? Absolutely. I could.
I'd like to do it, but I'd like to get where you're at. But again, I'm playing with house money. So, I put very, very little money of my own into my operation. Whatever profit I get, I don't pay myself. I buy boxes or whatever I need with it. This year it's going to be sugar.
So last year, I bought boxes. I didn't end up needing those boxes. I used them this year. So this year I had money left over because I didn't have to buy boxes. So I bought another piece of equipment. So it's, again, it's not that any way is right or wrong. I mean, I don't have a full extraction line. I've got an uncapping tank with an uncapper.
Yeah.
And a nice extractor. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
and hopefully that'll last me several years, and I'll
Oh
grow
yeah.
to it, and hopefully grow past it at some point, and be able to do it. So, but
If I get into almonds, then my profit margin changes, um, and then I could do something more. I'd like to,
well,
but the
if
other
you
problem is
were,
room.
what would be the first thing you would replace?
I wouldn't replace anything. I would just expand more. I'd probably get more pallets, more boxes, more frames, more
Well, as far as
lids.
extracting, what would you upgrade next?
Oh, extracting, I'd get something similar to what you have, or uh, at least a table where I can just hang the frames and then just, if I'm cutting them or slicing them, put them in there and then put them in the extractor. Just
Well,
something.
the table the first table I got is like $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now obviously I get it shipped out of New York.
Yeah.
I think Peerco is a licensed dealer as well near or in California, so you might be able to get a deal for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I first got into this, I wasn't really looking at honey. I was looking at pollination, almond pollination. It was I don't know if I told you guys this. My oldest daughter's godfather owns, well, the last time I heard, he owns and operates over 3,000 acres of almonds on the west side of the valley here. So if I need a place to put bees, I've got that right there. But I don't have a way to get them anywhere. I don't have a forklift or a flatbed. So
Right.
that's where I come into, the commercial friends that I have, and they, we were going to do it last year or this past season, but the guy that I was going to get in with, he lost some of his contracts because, believe it or not, farmers were yanking their almonds out, and so he all of a sudden he had enough bees for what he had to cover. But if he didn't lose those contracts, I would have been in the game. And then,
Right.
And then what I would do is I'd pay him per pallet to take him to the orchards, and then he would show me where he drops them, and then I'll just go work them from there for 5-6 weeks.
Right.
Whatever long or however long it is. But that didn't materialize. So,
but I mean,
so my point is when I got into it, I could care less about the honey part. I just, that's just kind of gotten in my way, so to speak, where I'm at now.
Right. Now it's like you have to get rid of the honey so you could
yeah.
have bees for pollination.
Yeah. It's like, dang it.
So it's kind of like, for me, what I'm really, to be honest with you, after seeing how James has grown his colonies and his nuke production and stuff like that, I really like that formula that he's got going, because and we talked on the phone today as well for an hour, and the thing is that the way he does it is in the spring he has to split his colonies because they're so abundant, right? So you have to split them. So he turned that into a money-making thing by selling nukes. And then, he sold some other colonies, but then he's able to still split and grow his colonies and produce his honey. So he's basically got a income flow throughout the whole year from his bees. And, I think a lot of us get stuck on, well, how much honey am I going to get? Well, you don't need that honey as much if you sold 50 nukes and made $10,000 at the beginning of the year before they even started doing anything, which conveniently enough makes it a little bit easier to buy a bigger extractor, bigger equipment, and stuff like that. And some people don't have that aspiration, and I totally get that. So that's why I don't ever say, well, except for Tim. Tim, if you're watching, get a motorized extractor. But this is the running joke. I mean, obviously, do Tim. You know what I mean? Todd, that's the
Uh-oh. My internet's giving me fits. I don't know if you can hear me.
Well, I think he locked up. We'll wait on him to come back. I was out checking the pork butt. Oh, and the shop behind me is sculpture bees or giant resin bees on a flower pot. Yeah, they're not even honeybees. They're invasive species. I caught them the other year on that flower pot. I'm assuming they were collecting some kind of resource from the water where it evaporated. But yeah, that's an invasive species. You can't understand the size of them till you see them in person, just how big they are. Yep, there's Bob. My internet just dropped. Be back in a second. What's new with me? Got a pork butt in the smoker. Got that going. That's the newest thing. Put some honey in one of those big old insulated heater things I've got to decrystallize it.
my internet dropped. It wasn't y'all's, it was mine. So, what Spanky was running the show? What was going on, Spanky?
We was talking about the butt I've got in the smoker.
The butt in the smoker.
Yeah, that's what I was working on out there.
Well, it's officially Father's Day on the East Coast, so all of the East Coasties, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Dad's Day.
And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at too, Dennis. I've grown, and I've got some that are really producing and some that aren't really producing that much. But at the end of the day, honey's only a portion of the money that you can make with bees. You know, I've sold this year. I sold 15 nukes or so. No, 17 nukes. So I mean, at $200 a piece, you know, $3,500. Oh, how much was my uncapper? $500. Yay! It's funny how that works, but that's you know, it's one of those things that I just continuously at this stage I do have a job, right? So I've got some income. I've got the swarm lure, that's some income. I got the you know, Apis, that's some income. So I've got multiple bee source income swirling around in the mixer, so to speak. So it's not just about the honey production, right? For me, the honey production is what takes me to next spring. You know? Yeah. So, you know, and I should make more than I made last year. So that should be, that's a blessing.
Hey, Bob, I got a question. So how long have you been using Apis?
I started it. Hold on. Let me give you a semi-accurate answer. I started selling it in September, which means I started using it in probably July.
Okay. I asked Charlie this question last night. I've noticed a huge population in all my boxes. And there's only two different things that have happened. One, it's rained like hell out here. And two, I've fed them, supplement or
Apis.
sugar water with Apis. So I'm wondering what the long-term effect is of it.
Well,
I wondered if it lasts several brood cycles or several months, or does the queen just like go to a new level in health, or what?
I think what it does is because they have the nutrition and the nectar, so to speak, is that they don't really see much difference between a honey flow or a nectar flow and you feeding them syrup. And they just go crazy. And I was feeding, everyone's like, you're not supposed to feed them this time of year. You're supposed, and I've got like 1-to-1 out there, and I'm letting them go because in my mind, because the way our seasons run, so mild all the time, right? They're getting out almost every day unless it's raining, except for a few weeks that my thought was I'm going to keep feeding it because I want that as many big, fat, healthy bees as I can keep in the colony going into spring. Now, did I lose colonies? I still lost some colonies, but I mean, I think that's it's either way. But they they definitely blew up, and I even gave it to them when I fed pollen supplement, the pollen patties. I mixed my own. I did not use the pre-made ones because when I mixed it, they didn't have the pre-made ones with it in there. So I didn't buy it. So, and now I've got a never-ending supply of it. So it's like I'll probably just keep buying it. Now, what I might try to do, and I've never bought it, but if you haven't looked on Man Lake's site lately, there's a couple ways to buy their pollen sub. So, and they actually have a new kind of pollen sub out there this year, which, let's see, entire screen, share, bring it up. So on Man Lake's site, of course, they got Bee Pro. They've got Ultra Bee. So Ultra Bee in a 40-pound bag is $95.95. But if you scroll, well, are they going to show it? Of course not. But you can buy it already pre-mixed into patty form in a bucket, 40 pounds.
How much?
Hold on, let me see how I found it the other day. Oh, here it is. Bulk pollen sub, 40 pounds for $67.95.
40 pounds for 67. Oh yeah.
So you can get it cheaper, $30 cheaper, by buying it in the bucket already mixed. And if you do over the $150, I think it is, in purchase, that it's free shipping. So
40 pounds wouldn't be in a 5-gallon bucket, would it?
Yeah, I think it's a 5-gallon bucket. I think. Let's see what it says. Well, it says 42 pounds. So whatever they put it in weighs 2 pounds.
That's interesting.
So you can save money by ordering it pre-mixed. Yeah. And then I was thinking, I don't know how the consistency of it because I've never bought it that way. But I could figure out what 40 pounds of put a pack of it in there and blend it, mix it up with my mixer, and it would probably be the same thing. Maybe add a little bit of liquid to it to help get it absorbed.
Yeah.
But
I'll definitely have to look at that because I make up my own pollen sub, but it's a pain.
Oh, it is, and it doesn't matter whose recipe I've used. I've used Ian Stepler's with the coconut oil and the flaxseed oil, and I've used Cayman Reynolds, and it always will dry out.
Yeah,
always. So
that's why you just put the pollen in your syrup. You know, I learned that from a master beekeeper. Just put
Man,
pollen in syrup.
don't get me going on that tonight. Yeah, the dry does go. Well, I found that I can make, if I got a make right bucket, if I use 1 gallon, like to the 1 gallon line on the 5 gallon make right bucket that you can get from Lowe's, it makes 10 pounds. So every 1 gallon makes 10 pounds of pollen sub. So basically, by the time you fill that up, oh, guess what? You've made 4 gallons. You've made 40 pounds. So maybe you get more in dry. Maybe you don't need as much dry to make the same amount of patty, and that's why it's cheaper. I don't know, but I know Mr. Sam buys it in the bulk like that, and so I put it in my pollen, and when I got my nukes, first thing I did was get my pollen bucket and scoop it out with my hive tool and put a dollop on there, and they ate it down, you know. So it's
I don't even use the wax paper anymore.
I mean,
I throw it right on there,
and they'll just eat it, and no problem. I use sugar, but I don't use sugar. I use the sucrose syrup. So, Matt, I don't use Pro Sweet because nobody around here sells Pro Sweet, and it's too expensive to ship, and it's too expensive to buy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have that capability here. But some people, like in Kentucky and wherever Man Lake is, and can drive right over and get their tanker filled up like Cayman can. Good to go, you know. And you know, it's funny. People kind of grate me about what I buy on, you know, what I've purchased, but then I don't ever see any comments on Cayman's channel that he took Big Red over there and got 2,500 gallons of syrup or something like that. You know, it's like, you know, how much was that? Do that math. You know, he just don't tell how much he's spending on that stuff. But I mean, it's let me see. But 5 miles would be. Yeah, we've got stuff coming in over here, Michael. I see, like Charlie, he said it several times. He said that his flow's over, it's done. And I'm like, you're north of me. I don't know if that's the case, really, but hey, I don't live there, so you tell me. And Cayman was talking about feeding during the dearth. I don't know if his is over, but I know mine is not over. They're still bringing it in, so it's I don't know. Maybe it's because we've had milder temperatures that we don't normally get down here, or what. I don't know. And see, Blaine says he's still got it coming in where he's at in Texas. So,
the thing that's coming next that I see right now is yellow thistle.
Oh, you got that coming in?
Yeah, it's going right now.
Do you guys get a pretty consistent nectar flow the whole time, or do you hit a dearth time too?
You hit a big dearth. You hit a roadblock. You usually, thistle will be done about 3-4 weeks. But by the middle of July, near the end of July, that's about it until.
Well, see, around July is when our goldenrod starts.
See, we don't have goldenrod out here
coming up. And besides, I'm going to have an acre of buckwheat, knock on wood, by that time. We'll see. I'm literally going to do my whole front yard except for that little turnaround space.
Yeah.
Because it's all dirt, right? Very little grass. And it's supposed to rain on Monday, and I'm just going to be out there sowing seeds in the rain and see what happens. There you go.
That's the way to do it.
Might be nothing. Might be $120-something just pissed away, but hey, I just pissed away $800 on a table I didn't need. So
I planted that last year. It worked out pretty good. It's a darker honey. You could tell when they're bringing it in.
Do you have a sandy soil?
No.
See, I've got kind of a sandy soil, but what I have been doing for the last several years is letting the leaves and stuff kind of degrade right into place.
Decompose, yeah.
And trying to build up a little bit of dirt on the top. So it's kind of a sand dirt mix. Probably be great for tomatoes. I should probably have like 1 million tomatoes in the front yard, but and Sharon says she's still got it coming in Southeast Georgia. And I think that it's you know, I'm a firm believer that nature runs its course every year. It's just a matter of when it can do it, right? So with our lower temperatures, those trees will still bloom and do all they need to do. Just might be later, might be a little earlier, you know, things like that. But watermelon, they love sandy soil. I could see if I had like my whole yard was just watermelon patch in the front yard. Peaches must love semi-sandy soil too, because South Carolina, believe it or not, everybody equates Georgia with peaches, but the peach capital of the United States is in South Carolina.
Have you ever had donut peaches?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, they are the best. They're right now. They're growing out at the farm where my bees are at, and they're peaches, but they're smashed down and they look like a donut.
And are they good?
Oh, they are so good. Oh man, they only come out.
They move sand too. Yep. That's it. I've run over the dirt just to basically vacuum up any leaves that might be down, you know, around there. And you can really tell when it rains hard. You'll go up by the street, and all of that, the clippings that are left on the like the chopped up dried leaves, kind of just push down towards the front of the yard and towards the ditch. You know, that and Bojangles boxes and Popeyes and beer cans that people throw out their windows. All of that down there. But you know, that's what I'm wondering, all these people that are saying that their flow is over, if it's actually over, if it's just been retarded and slowed down and kind of stretched out, you know.
My tallow finally started blooming in the trees around here now.
I don't have tallow around here.
That tallow is at least 2 weeks behind this year.
Let me see. Hope says if his math is right, a 40-pound bag of Ultra Bee will make 125 pounds of patty.
40-pound bag, 125 pounds. What was that bucket? 42
the bucket
pounds?
Is $67.95 for a bucket.
But it's 40 pounds, right? Or 42?
40 pounds of finished pollen patty in a bucket.
That's $1.69, $1.70.
Yeah, but you're paying for the convenience factor.
Yeah, and you're also with making your own, you have to pay for the sugar.
Yeah, so it
goes in it. So I don't know.
It's about 76 cents just with the bag itself. Then with the other ingredients you got to add in there, which wouldn't be a lot, but there's the time and blah blah blah. I
mix it in the 5-gallon pail, and it's that the whole 5-gallon pail's in my refrigerator on my porch now. So
yeah. I have some in the freezer out in the garage.
So it's
old cotton farmers, huh?
Not that type of peaches, Bob. The peach stand.
We can't plant cotton here without notifying them so they can set out them weevil traps.
I had a guy here tell me that he had colonies within 300 yards of 100 yards of 300 acres of cotton fields, and his bees brought in nothing from them because of the seeds that the farmer was using. Didn't
it depends on the variety.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't just plant cotton here willy-nilly. You have to get the other people involved, and they come in and set up traps and monitor them for those weevils.
And that's the other thing. Me and Spanky were talking about that venom collection, bee venom collection, that we could take all the pissed off hives and put them in one spot. You probably harvest venom quicker off of those, right? And at least then, hey, they're earning their keep, you know.
I had a hive last year. I could have scraped that stuff off the front windshield of my pickup. They ran me into my truck.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like that one that I had. But after I did that, they were much calmer today. After all those old bees, there were still some flyers, but not like the other day. So, plus it's almost worth just opening it up and let them sting the shit out of your suit, and then all die.
Yeah.
All the bad bees are dead now, for the moment, until the other
ones grow up.
These other 7 slabs of brood you got getting ready to hatch out here.
Yeah. That's the bad part. But you know, if you make them smaller too, that their attitude gets less and less.
I've read that it takes stings from 1 million bees to make 1 gram of venom. I don't know. I know that they put that thing in front of the hive and they stung it up, and he had a little like cosmetic jar, and he unscrewed it. He dropped his little bee venom line of cocaine in there, and then sealed it back up and put it in his freezer. And
yeah, I found that video interesting where he said, "Oh, everybody should have a few mean hives." They go out further and find the forage, and all the calm bees are lazier, and they follow the mean bees out, and that they were better against varroa and hive beetles. I don't know if he's got any proof behind that, but that's what he claimed.
But you know what? It would, to me, it makes logical sense that they would be against like hive beetles and stuff, because it's an invader in their hive, and they would defend it, right? If they defend me just opening
aggression is different from grooming,
right? Well, but if they're aggressive, they'll chase that beetle around till it dies from a heart attack. I don't know.
Yeah, but the varroa, the varroa climb on, and the bee can't get to it.
It's got a DJ. Now look at you, man. You got a DJI drone, and you're talking about having a small extractor and all that stuff. How much that? I know that drone wasn't cheap. See, you just told on yourself. DJI drone. The thing started like $800. Man, come on. You done told on yourself, Michael. Poor beekeeper, my behind.
A lot of boxes.
Drones are nice. I can even check my hive down. Oh, okay. So he's laughing, though. Hey, it did make you laugh, though. Come on. It was funny. I'm just poking fun. But, yeah, man. So today was just a lazy put my honey out on the street, and I sat out there talking on the phone, doing lives and waiting for people to come up and buy honey. Usually I just set it there and go work my bees. And when somebody drives up, I stop working my bees and go back and sell the honey. But people were saying, well, you should take credit cards. I take Cash App. I take PayPal. I try not to take those because, first off, both of those charge you a fee to take your money out. So, and if you use a credit card, they take a fee to take your money. So it's, so I try not to do that, but I will. I mean, if it's the difference between you buying and not buying, sure. What do you got? Let me download that app real quick or something, but it's
a lot of the local places, local, they'll charge you 2 or 3% more if you're using credit versus using cash, and that's why they're trying to raise my price
though. And it was confusing to me because I've been selling for the last 5 years at the same price. So I was selling. My pints got to $18 today. My 1 pounders went up to $12, and my quart, I had one quart. I did sell it for $30, so they got a little bit of a discount buying it in a quart as compared to buying it in individuals, because if they would have bought 2 pints, I would have had to pay twice as much for jars. So I guess it works out.
Did you see what Blaine said?
Get square.
Yeah.
And we both get 1,000 in sales with no fees.
For the referral.
I'd be out there like Lee with an iPad and a barcode scanner and and everything. I have a square here somewhere. I used to use it I've done a little bit of everything. I'm an entrepreneur. So when I left the pharmaceutical company, I had a little bit of 401k money. So I started one of those epoxy and concrete, like decorative concrete businesses, where I would make your concrete patio look like it was wood grain, but it was actually concrete. So
Yeah.
did stuff like that. And then I did the epoxy countertops and stuff like that. I had it a long time ago. So I don't know if it's just a little plug-in thing that plugs into the bottom of your phone, right? You use the app and they swipe. But a lot of people around here use Cash App. What I should do is I should wait for I should just let it sit in my Cash App. And then when Bitcoin drops down to nothing again, convert it all to Bitcoin and wait for Bitcoin to come back up again. And then sell it back. Venmo is bank to bank with there's no fee. I might have to look into Venmo.
Venmo might start tracking you next year, I think.
Well, see, that's the other thing.
Taxing you.
All of those things that you use, the government can peep on you. So,
yeah, they want their cut 7-8 ways to Sunday.
Even though it's already been taxed about 10 times by the time it gets to us.
What's another tax?
Yeah. One more.
So,
like this country was
I did show you my car tax thing, right? I showed you this car tax thing.
Yeah, last night or the other night, I think it was.
There's only one thing that actually really refers to cars on here, and that's road maintenance. Everything else is schools, county. The fire service, I'm okay with giving them some money. But then it's the public library, recreation, the zoo, the technical college, mental health. It's like, okay, I get it. That if everybody in the county's paying towards them, why isn't it free to go to the zoo if you live in this county? Everybody contributes every year, right?
Yeah.
So let me see. Venmo is 10 cents a transaction plus 1.9%. So
cold hard cash, Bob. That's the way to go.
You don't need a license for those DJI drones. That's interesting.
Well, the thing is with cash, then you go and put it in your bank account. And then they're like, well, where'd this money come from? Don't you worry about it, mister, where this money came from. From another bank account. That's where it came from. It just wasn't
out of another bank.
Yeah, it just wasn't mine.
That's how they got wow.
PayPal is PayPal's expensive. I use Stripe.
You gotta watch PayPal. They'll just hold your money.
I'm sure Stripe might have a credit card thing too that you can use. Since I already have a Stripe account. But that's another one that's probably Big Brother's. See, there's a couple ways to look at this equipment thing. First way, the money from the bees is paying for the equipment. The second way to look at it is that equipment is now a tax deduction, right? Tax write-off for this year. So just tell them to clean the money and shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you win on, well, you don't really win on both ends, but at least if you buy something, then you can go ahead and tax deduct it at the end of the year, which, you know, this year I will need some tax deductions. So that'll help out a bit. That's why I'm probably going to buy my boxes and frames and stuff here soon. I'm really thinking about going ahead and just buying boxes and frames and have them shipped so I can go ahead and start building them like everybody else.
That's what I'm going to do. Well, I'm not building the boxes, but I'll build the frames.
But you have the benefit of being like near some suppliers.
Yeah.
Here I've got one, or I've got to pay shipping, or I got to pay Man Lake's high ass prices. So
well, you could buy a pallet from that Bennett apiaries and you'd be good to go for a while.
Yeah, but they're all the way out in California, so I wonder what the shipping would be.
I don't know.
Oof.
I don't know.
I mean, and that's 125 boxes.
Just
Or drive up to
go to
Spanky's there and go to Miller Bee Supply, or
You just go to that zoo that you pay money to every year, and the monkeys do it.
you know, they also have a botanical garden. And
cut the trees down and make boxes out of that.
when I was starting beekeeping, I had a friend of mine that was like, "Hey, I want to donate you some bees, right, to get you started." And they were actually selling packages of bees through the zoo and the botanical gardens. So it was kind of interesting. Maybe that's who I need to contact. Hey, I'm going to have 50 nucleus colonies next year that I would love to sell through the zoo if you want them.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Matter of fact, my retail, I have to claim every month. I have to go to the South Carolina Department of Revenue and file a refund, tax return through them on the sales tax. But because I collect no sales tax, all the sales tax from the website and everything is collected for me and return. Amazon sends it in. Everybody sends it in. So I always just put 0 collected and let it go. And then I'll file my income taxes because I'm a sole proprietor. It's like personal income. Then I'll monkey those up when it comes. Make the deductions happen. Spanky's laughing.
I thought of something funny.
My sister owns a tax business, so join the York County Beekeeper Association. 10 frame deep boxes are $17.50 each. So how about this? I bring you $1,750 and you bring me 100 10 frame deep boxes. Because I would make 0 York County beekeeper meetings.
Where's that at?
It's an hour north of me. Hour and a half.
That's nothing.
After you teach the monkeys and apes to build your boxes and equipment, you claim them as dependents on your taxes.
Hey, Dennis, tell them
you paid to them.
Tell the York County beekeepers I'll trade them an uncapping table and a steam uncapper, a tabletop steam uncapper for 100 boxes. I bet you that price goes down a little bit. Make the swap. So,
trying to barter, huh?
Yeah, I never owe taxes. Like I said, my sister owns a tax business. Trust me, I never owe taxes. Plus, I got a day job, and the day job I'm paying taxes in all the time, right? So, and then I buy enough crap where it's easy enough to deduct it, you know? I mean, just this year, Hive Life, I spent $1,500 on that bottling machine, right? And then I spent $5,000 on $4,000, sorry, on the uncapper. So that's $5,500. And then how many frames did I buy in boxes? You know, so it's probably been another $10,000 year, you know, in deductions. So And then Hive Life is a deduction. The hotel at Hive Life is a deduction.
Meals.
The meals were a deduction. So yeah, my sister's she'll do your taxes.
I wish I could find a reliable, good person to do my taxes.
190 is cheap
But
for
it could be cheaper.
for the amount of boxes, but I'm trying to get away from mediums. I'm gonna start doing all deeps, I think.
Oh, I thought you was going to say shallows.
No.
Join me in the shallow game.
Hey, those are great for cut comb, from what I hear. I actually had my first person ask me, did I have honey straws today? And I said, no. I said, in 5 years, you're the first person to ask me for honey straws, and the cheapest honey straw machine for Man Lake's like $700. So
The cheapest honey straw machine is a syringe.
Well, I've got plenty of them.
From experience.
I've got plenty of them.
Because I've made honey straws with a syringe, and then the plastic cutter that you use to seal the ends.
And Michael, I also use I'm using migratory covers and not telescoping covers. So that's a few pieces I would use them, but I don't need them, you know. Claim me as your employee and take me with you to Hive Life next year.
I don't know. That sounds like a trap, Bob.
Hive Life is, if you don't go to Hive Life this year coming up, Dennis, man, let me just say, you got to go to Hive Life. I went, you know how many speakers I saw at Hive Life? 0. I mean, I saw them walking around, but I didn't sit in and watch any of the lectures. None of it. I was in there hanging out with people, with Lee, doing live streams, because when we were doing live streams is when the lectures were going on, because there was the least amount of people behind you and the noise was lower. And then we would catch him walking back in. Hey, Mr. Ed, come do a video, come do a live. And then he would sit down. Or, hey, Randy and Mr. Pat, they came over, and Bob Binney came over. And, oh, so James says he's selling a lot of the straws. Now, you go to a market, or you sell it from your place like me? So
I hate that they've added this stupid heart on the YouTube. It covers up the chat message.
Does it cover up the super chats? Because I ain't seen none of them in a while.
That's why they added it, That's why they added it, Bob. They felt bad for you, so people can click the heart without giving any money.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm just joking about that. So, yeah, so you go to a market. See, I don't go to a market. If I went to a market, I'd probably add a few things. And even like Dennis, we went to like Hard Rock Cafe to eat, and they've got museums and all kinds of stuff up there. So the bad part is that a lot of that stuff closes early because it's off season.
Yep.
But we went up on Wednesday, and Thursday was the meet and greet. So Wednesday, when we got there around lunchtime, that's when my wife and I went to lunch, and then we went and rode one of those mountain roller coasters where you're like in a roller thing coming down, and just, had a good time. Good little time. And then we got to meet up. Then all the beekeepers started showing up, and you're like sitting in the lobby, and all of a sudden Dirt Rooster walks in. You're like, "Hey, I know you." And then we start talking, and Cayman's eating pancakes at breakfast in the hotel we were at. And if you want to see a tired guy, go to Hive Life and look at Cayman Reynolds. He looked like someone just kicked his dog. I mean, it's like he's tired. He's beat down. So
I assume that he's going to do that silent auction again this year.
Vivor is from China. And I'm
Are
sure
you gonna donate anything to that silent auction this year, Bob?
the only thing I got to donate is swarm lure. Last
Yeah,
year, I
that's all.
donated a lot of swarm lure for free. I had a box, and when everybody was lined up before the show, waiting to get in, I was going down the line and giving out bottles of swarm lure to people.
But
Oh,
see,
wow.
how did that help the youth?
Oh, it didn't help the youth. It helped the youth of my business. And not really, because they had a bottle of swarm lure. They didn't have to buy a bottle of swarm lure, right? So,
Yeah, that other swarm lure, they donated some. I think it was a lure last year to the silent
Allure,
auction.
yeah, Allure. That's from NL, a
But
European.
you ought to donate some of that stuff this year.
The
Get your
bullets
name
don't
out
last
there.
as long as the bottles. Right. The bottles do last. I've got several bottles open because if I can't find my bottle immediately, I just grab another bottle and it's eating into my profit margins there. But whatever.
You don't use your supply, Bob. That's the first lesson.
Yeah, well, when I get a call, I take it with me regardless. I take that and the honey rustler uh, whenever I go to a swarm or whatever, because I use the lure in the box, and then when I shake the bees, I use the honey rustler on the branch, or like that branch behind you, Todd. If I shook it off, I would load it down with the honey rustler, and they don't want to go back in.
Yep. And as soon as you get your $1,000 worth of bee venom equipment, we're going to have arthritis rustler, youth rustler, Russell
Oh, they put
McGinty
that in
rustler.
everything. The hey, but I'm gonna tell you, feeding season's coming up. So if y'all need some Apis Biologics, you need to get your order in while I got it, because when my stores start calling, I'll probably be out. And then
I'm going to get some of the activator this year.
Yeah, it's the cheapest item they got, $19.
And before Bob buys out a seed company and starts selling buckwheat,
Buckwheat seed, South Carolina.
it's feeding season.
Hey, Bob, I heard the conversations about buckwheat, but I don't know if you realize that when those things go to flower, you get a lot more seed than what you put down in the ground.
Oh, it'll drop a bunch of them?
Well, the variety I got did.
I had diminishing returns up here with the common buckwheat. Whenever the next year come around, not nearly as much come back up.
Well, I hope it does. I hope it becomes. Well, I'll be the only producer of buckwheat honey in South Carolina.
Well, if you what was it? So I planted last July. So by November, when it finally died off, I walked out there in the middle of it and I just grabbed the heads of those things and I opened them up and blew the debris away. And I had like 6 or 8 seeds in each pool, I mean, and there you go.
So I'll just have to go harvest my seeds. And then next year I'll be selling people 50 pounds for 100.
Yeah, there you go.
Get your grist mill set up, make you some buckwheat pancakes.
There you go.
Give them the Cayman at Hive Life.
Hey, Kodiak, the Kodiak cakes? You've seen them? The Kodiak, I'm sure Spanky's seen it. It's like a buckwheat pancake batter that.
Oh, I think I have seen that. Yeah.
Do you know that was on Shark Tank and everybody passed on it?
Oh, really?
And he said, okay. And now it's in every grocery store down here and make it a killing.
Ring the doorbell. They were on Shark Tank and nobody bid on them.
You've already gone through 2 of them? Or you already gone through 1 of them already? 64 ounces? Oh, hey, did you go down to Sumter and look at that cutout, Dennis? I'm going to keep bugging you until I know that person's taken care of. I passed them a cutout. potential cutout.
But you got, what was it, Tokyo variety of buckwheat?
Yeah, I guess some Japanese type buckwheat.
And then I got Kodo this year, which is another.
Well, it's
more than
saying
likely.
that 1 acre of buckwheat will yield 150 pounds, and a strong colony can make 10 pounds of honey off of it a day.
And supposedly both of our varieties produce a lighter colored honey.
Hopefully, if it's lighter, it's not as strong tasting.
I just ordered it to keep them going during the dearth, and it worked. I'm going to see what it was.
Not to cut grass.
I'll have a reason not to cut it then, right? I won't have to mow my dirt. And maybe it'll hold some of that soil in place and keep it from washing down the front yard.
All right. I got, well, hang on.
Who'd you order it from? Do you remember?
Just Amazon. It was like a 10-pound bag. So it's probably a mixture of everything, but it's called, no, that's just a brand name. It doesn't really have a make, what kind of buckwheat it is.
Well, this one,
it just says Outside Pride, which is a brand name.
Who did I order mine from, Spanky? True Leaf.
Yep, True Leaf Market.
Let's see here. View my
So
order.
it matures in 10 to 12 weeks, which is accurate. It took
Mine said 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, this one, I think that's about the span of it for this seed is about 12 weeks, 10, 12 weeks. After that, it dies off.
This is saying it'll be here tomorrow. I didn't know UPS don't go on Sundays, do they?
No.
This says it's estimated delivery tomorrow by 7 p.m.
It's probably the post office. They probably handed it off to the post office because they'll run around in their trucks on Sundays doing deliveries like that, just not the mail.
Which one did you buy, Bob? The organic, or did you buy the Japanese organic?
Now you're asking me something here. Hold on.
This one says 40 to 50 pounds per acre or 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet.
Mine says buckwheat organic cover crop seeds, 25-pound bag, and I got 2 of them.
Okay, so you didn't get the Japanese organic.
But
they have 2 buckwheat listings on the website.
So I might get the nasty motor oil honey.
I did. I tasted it. It wasn't that bad.
I'm gonna. My wife loves it. So, and I've got people that do like it around here. So,
it saved me money on feeding. So, because what was that?
That's kind of what I was trying to do. Is if it didn't cover the dearth, if I didn't get it in time for the dearth, that it would definitely be in time to go with the goldenrod and buckwheat.
Hell, this thing went up to $40 for a 10-pound bag, and I remember it being $17.99 last year in July. This time last year.
Yeah, I imagine if it, because it don't say in the description of this that it's that Tokyo. It says down here under honey crop that that variety is reported, but it don't say that these seeds are that variety. So I'm assuming that this is just the normal common buckwheat.
I think that's what I got, but it worked. It worked. It took about 3 weeks for it to germinate, and then it sprouted, and you just got to keep water on it.
The common buckwheat that I got from High Mowing, it worked, but it was a dark honey.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get a 5-pound bag from them for $18.65.
Gee, yeah, That's about what I paid last year. Now Amazon wants 40. But how many pounds was that?
5.
Oh,
For-
5. All right.
I wonder if I should just use a grass spreader and dump all the seed in there and run it that way.
That's what I did.
You
Open
can.
it up.
I sewed mine heavy, so I did it by hand because I wanted it to be a smother crop.
That'll be my luck that I put the buckwheat out and all the deer come out of the woods and eat it all.
They won't eat the seed though. They won't eat it.
Yeah, but I need the flower.
Well, yeah, when it flowers, they'll come by and mow it down for you. But you got to watch out for thunderstorms and stuff to wash it out of that soil you have.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain all week.
I told him he could go buy some bags of topsoil and put out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many bags of topsoil I'd be better to get a dump truck worth of topsoil by the time I paid the price on them.
If you was worried about all that sandy soil, get the cheapest dirt possible.
Just import some new dirt.
Well, buckwheat don't need the expensive, highly nutritious dirt. How do you think it fixes the soil? It can't do that if it needs it.
It puts back nitrogen, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, nitrogen fixation.
I got plenty of chicken crap out there. I could go shovel out my chicken coop and dump that in the front yard.
You just got to make sure it's not hot or it'll burn it.
Yeah, it'll burn it. Take care of that real quick.
I know absolutely nothing about gardening. Let me see. Where's cover crop? There it is.
Well, I'm going to hit the road, guys.
Well, we appreciate you.
I saw that you popped in here late. I thought, man, you're starting way late. So
yeah, well, you know.
Yeah,
what can you do?
Yeah. Hey, it's Saturday night.
It's almost Father's Day Central Time.
Yep.
You know, if we don't celebrate it, no one else does.
No. No.
I mean, let's see how many Father's Day things I see on Facebook right now. Nope. See, if this was Mother's Day, you would have had it all week long.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mother's Day week and month. Father's Day, maybe, if they think about it.
Father's Day lunch or dinner. That's it.
Oh, I guarantee I won't get any of that tomorrow. One of my kids came on my birthday. 1 out of 4. Now, one's in Germany, so she's excluded. But the other 2 had no reason. And when I say that, it's like I understand it was on a Wednesday, but you could have came either the Saturday or Sunday before or the Saturday or Sunday afterwards. Would have been all right with that. But, yeah, it's not high on their priority list. But let their car break down or they need some money, then they can make that trip.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Right. Take it easy, Todd.
All right. You too. See you.
So there's not much Father's Day stuff happening on the Book of Faces right now.
That's about how it goes.
Yep, that's true.
There's a guy at work, and he recommended, I posted in private chat there, that Milo Granite slow release fertilizer. He says nothing will touch it.
What do you mean nothing will touch it?
In other words, no animal wants to touch it or go near it. He said the deer won't mess with it. Birds won't even land on it. He put it out in his yard to keep the deer away.
Nitrogen fertilizer. That'll burn grass too, won't it?
No. It's slow release.
Say drought resistant. I think that's what it said. I was reading. Yep. Ideal in drought areas.
Can be applied anytime without burning.
They got it around here too.
Your buckwheat don't necessarily need the nitrogen, but he claimed that the animals, something about the smell the animals didn't like, and so they wouldn't go near it. And that's what he used it for, was to keep the deer away.
Be my luck, I would use it, and the bees wouldn't want to go to it.
Well, I would imagine if you used it around the perimeter of your yard to the woods.
Right.
And see if it'll act as a barrier to keep them away. You could also hit up a barber and get the hair that they cut.
Right.
And put that out. All the different human smells can also deter them.
Just get my buddies over here and have a beer drinking party and tell them they have to piss along the property line. Oh my goodness. So hey, you know Morgan that comes on here? A Salty Dogs Apiary. He made an uncapping tank. Let me present this because he's got a little thing, entire screen over here. And we'll add that to stream. But he took a tote similar to what Philip did, and he did it long ways. He just made some shims, clamped them on there, and that way he can uncap right there and then hang his frame. I don't know how many frames it'll hold, but if you're into making your own stuff and engineering stuff, that's not bad. It's got a, now see that grate that he's got there might be a little bit too big for, if you can see it, a little too big. But if you're getting big size capons, it should keep it. It's not bad. It's a pretty good little thing there. Actually, it looks like he just drilled a hole through the lip of the deal and through the wood. And
if he could find one of those grill or smoker mats that they use for doing vegetables,
right?
I bet you that would catch a lot of the capons.
Phil, RTX Honeybees, he was using a baker's warming rack with the little squares on it. And that worked for.
But yeah, you can do that. I don't know if that container is considered food safe, but because I take those totes and I turn them into raised beds for my garden.
Right.
Because it was cheaper now, not so much because of inflation. It was cheaper to buy one of those and do it than to buy a raised bed. And even now, the raised beds aren't what I consider a raised bed. I consider a raised bed about knee height. Otherwise, it's not raised. It's just short.
It's not as raised.
Exactly.
Let's see. Trying to look at some beekeeping stuff on here, see if anybody's doing anything. Let's see. Looks like someone's got a jar of feed on there near Denver. Surprised they're feeding over there. It might be a new colony or something. Oh man. Let me see. Farmers know. Yeah, that's a Spanky turned me onto this, man. I don't know much about growing anything, so hopefully what's that, your raised bed?
Yeah, with strawberries in it.
I've seen people use PVC pipe to grow them with a drip system.
Well, I've got a section of pipe in the bottom of it, the 4-inch drain, and then a pipe that goes up to the top. And that way I can just bottom water during the drought. I can bottom water that whole system.
Let me see. That's crazy. Someone got a package and I'm looking at it. Here, I got to show you this. So their package came in, and I'm just looking at this right now. Where's the feed can? There's no feed can hanging down from the top. It looks like the queen cage isn't on a strap. Well, there is a strap, so it's like the strap's usually stapled to the outside. So I wonder if somebody opened this. Where's the can? Don't know.
How fast do bees, was it say, in the...
Oh, how fast do bees... Wait a minute. Where are they? Took the day off work, so he's available for delivery, and now this is how they arrive. My question is, how fast do bee bodies deteriorate to this point? I don't know. I'm not a... Someone's like, it's totally irresponsible and unethical beekeeping. I hope you've given the seller a what for.
You should write an answer. Where's the feed can?
Yeah, where's the feed can? Here's the other thing. Where's the shipping label? Don't they usually put the shipping label on the case here? Maybe
That's an interesting package.
I don't know.
The one that I got that was wooden, it had 2 bars on the ends.
James said his came that way too.
Where they must have hung them up or something.
That's interesting. I've never bought a package.
Sponge type stuck to top.
Oh, okay.
Because the one package I ordered, it come with a feed can.
But yeah, here we are, 1:00 a.m. chilling. And
well, what else you gonna do? Came in a cardboard box. Well, I know Man Lake was doing some kind of gel.
Like a gel pad type of feed or something?
Yeah, I think it might have been Frederick Dunn. Some of his come in dead. Some of his packages from the jail.
Finally found a Father's Day post. 1 out of 3,000 people on my Facebook list. 1. That's what I got so far. Oh, so happy Father's Day Central Time, people. Anyway, I thought I would just do a little bit of a live stream tonight. We've been going for an hour and a half. And figured I would see what all of our other No Life beekeepers were doing. And I guess we'll go ahead and end this. So, happy Father's Day to everyone. And I don't know, maybe we make it a 7th streak, 7 days in a row of live streams. That'd be tomorrow night. And then Monday, I'll have to see if I can go for 6 days in a row of being late to work.
The late streak.
They'll keep the late streak going. Might have to happen.
James got his bee delivery done yet?
I don't know. I thought he would probably be listening when he got the notification, and I was hoping he would pop in, but it's a long drive. He might have stopped to take a nap. But if there's a business model to emulate, he would be the one I would want to emulate at this point, because if you put the math behind the numbers of stuff he's done, He's probably made $60,000. Now it's Canadian dollars, so it's only like $25.99 US.
Well, it's
But
like Monopoly money.
it's like Monopoly money. But if you think about it, that is a good start of the year, considering he hasn't sold any honey yet. Right? So
It's better than being in a negative.
right. So I might have to get with Dennis and the York County Beekeepers, see if they want some nukes in the spring and sell them some nukes. But they probably got people up there selling nukes too. So
Learned what to do with the pollen frames, huh?
what you doing with your pollen frames?
Are you power washing them out?
Seen some people do that, or freeze them, and then I always, you can put them with your splits and nukes, or what you could do, Michael, is just freeze them and wait for a couple, till the winter time, and then you could drop them in your colonies when there's no pollen coming in.
Pretty certain his was wax, so power washing them would just destroy them.
Destroy the wax and everything.
There wouldn't be no foundation left to build off of.
And there's a guy selling nukes in Ohio for $150. Only 4 left. Well, now it's only 2 left.
He must have sold them things quick.
I bet you I could post up nukes right now and sell a crap ton of them too if I had the queens to go in them. But if I did that, I'd buy the queens, replace some that I've got that are kind of suspect right now, and probably make some splits. Take some of my double deeps, split them into 2 single deeps, and give them a new queen. But that requires equipment, Bob, and you don't have all that right now. So, hey, maybe I do like the bug farmer and get Vivor to sponsor me and donate me like 20 hives. And then every video I say this video is sponsored by Vivor. And do that, make 20 videos for them, 1 for each colony.
Soak in water and let it go away, huh?
For around here, Ashby Farms, I got to talk to you about that. I talked to him when I was going up to get syrup last time. Just don't sell that spicy queen. That would be the first one I sell.
But didn't you hear you need that spicy bee to lead all of your non-spicy bees to the nectar source.
But hey, that is a prolific queen. Even though she's hot, she does good. She's got slabs.
Because they're so angry. They're so angry.
They're trying to do world domination.
It's the anger that drives them. I hate my job.
That's it. They hate their job, making honey.
That's why they go out further.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and kill the stream for tonight, and we'll talk to you guys again next time. Let me see. The nukes YCBA had this year had quite a few problems with nukes. Stop by. I didn't have any issues this year with the nukes that I got, other than the second batch. The second batch I had to mite treat, but after I mite treated them, they started taking off. So I have wax foundation. Oh yeah. Wax foundation, you just blow holes in it. If you use a pressure washer. All right, guys, I'm gonna kill the stream. We'll see y'all later on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all again soon. Bye.